Crossing the Yam Suf, Red Sea. Based on the book of SHEMOT, Exodus, chapter 14 and some of the explanations of the sages. According to most Mefarshim, when Yisrael left Egypt, they did so from Goshen in northwest Egypt, crossing the Isthmus of Suez, now known as the Suez Canal. They entered through the northern part of the Sinai Peninsula, making a semicircle southward rather than continuing eastward. They eventually reached the west, ending up on the eastern shore of the Red Sea, or Yam Suf. Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel and tell them to return and camp before Pi Hajerot, between Migdol and the sea, before the image of the idol Baal Zephon, opposite it you shall camp, by the sea. And Pharaoh will say concerning the children of Israel, they are straying in the land, the wilderness has enclosed them. But I will strengthen Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them. And my glory will be revealed upon Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am Adonai." And they did so. It was announced to the king of Egypt that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants turned to the people, and they said, "How did we do this, that we had freed Israel from serving us?" Then Pharaoh yoked his chariot and took his people with him to fight against Yisrael, for he thought that the Ben Yisrael did not know the geography of the place and that they had lost their way on their way to the sea. He took 600 chosen chariots, besides all the chariots of Egypt and officers over them all. And Adonai strengthened the heart of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel, but the children of Israel came out victorious, free, and with their hands held high. The Egyptians pursued them with all their horses and Pharaoh's chariots and overtook them, encamped by the sea, near Pi Hajerot, opposite Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew near, his army, and the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were advancing after them, they were greatly afraid, and the children of Israel cried to Adonai. The Reb, a small group of Egyptians who had left Egypt for Moses' convenience, said, "Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you brought us to die in the desert? What is this, what you have done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Surely this is the thing we spoke to you about in Egypt, saying, 'Leave us alone. Let us go and serve the Egyptians. For it is better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness.'" And the rest of the people closed their mouths. Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and witness the salvation of Adonai, what he will do for you today. For as you have seen the Egyptians today, you will never see them again, forever. Adonai will fight for you, and you shall keep silent." Adonai said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Speak to the children of Israel, and let them go. But you, lift up your staff and stretch out your hand toward the sea and divide it so that the children of Israel may go into the midst of the sea on dry ground. But I will strengthen the hearts of the Egyptians so that they will go in after them. And my glory will be revealed upon Pharaoh and upon all his army, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Adonai, when I manifest my glory upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen." The angel of God, who had been leading the camp of Israel, moved and stood behind them. The pillar of cloud moved from in front of them and stood behind them, and stood between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Israel, and there was a cloud and darkness and it illuminated the night. So they did not come near each other all night. Moses stretched out his hand toward the sea, and Adonai drove the sea by means of a strong east wind all night, and turned the sea into dry land, for the waters had parted. The children of Israel entered the midst of the sea on dry ground. And the waters were for them, a wall on their right hand and on their left. The Egyptians pursued and came after them, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots and his horsemen into the midst of the sea. Because they believed that the waters were hardened or frozen due to the cold wind that was blowing. They thought they had become a glacier, and glaciers don't melt that quickly. And also because the horses were unbridled and they couldn't stop them. Now it happened in the morning watch that Adonai returned to the Egyptian camp with a pillar of fire and clouds, and troubled the Egyptian camp. He took off the wheels of their chariots and moved them. They were heavy, because they were melting, and the chariots were dragging, causing those in them to jump and hurt them. Egypt said, I must flee from Israel, for Adonai is fighting for them against Egypt. Adonai said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward the sea so that the waters may return upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. Moses stretched out his hand toward the sea, and the sea returned to its full power toward dawn, and the Egyptians fled against it. And Adonai struck the Egyptians down in the midst of the sea. The waters returned and covered the chariots and horsemen of all Pharaoh's army, who had gone after them across the sea. Not one of them was left. But the children of Israel walked on dry ground in the midst of the sea. And the waters were walls to them on their right hand and on their left. On that day Adonai saved Israel from the power of the Egyptians. Israel saw the dead Egyptians from the seashore, because the corpses of the Egyptians had been thrown there. Israel witnessed the great power that Adonai exercised in Egypt. The people venerated Adonai and had faith in Adonai and in Moses, his servant. From then on, the Bnei Yisrael trusted in the word of Moses, because they wanted to verify that Moses really had the word of the Eternal. They weren't impressed by miracles and apparent magical actions until they realized that everything Moses said was absolutely true. This guarantees that the Torah was received by intelligent and wise people, not by fools and ignorant people. Don't miss our next video. Like and subscribe to the channel for more content from The Torah is the Truth.